We're gonna get the volume up just a minute. Maybe that's louder than a home. Welcome to Camiso and 1 Million Cups. If you guys want to find your seat, you can move chairs around so you're closer. The presenter will be speaking probably where I'm standing right now. I think Melissa. We're gonna get started. We start at 9 o'clock. Our doors are at 8:30. We get started at 9, so I think it's a little bit after 9. Welcome to the new folks here. If you guys want to start gathering around, we want to get anyone who's in the kitchen to come on back out here. Are you checking my reverberation and making it fun? Thank you. All right, I see a lot of familiar faces here. Thanks everyone for coming back to our 1 Million Cups Wednesday morning. Hi Tracy, I see you there in the back. Hi, welcome. All right, so my name is Melissa Wilson. I'm the volunteer MC for 1 Million Cups. I also own my own business. I'm in startup stage. And I see here lots of people who've been here before. Now, if you have not been here, can you just raise your hands? If you've not been here before. 1, 2, Carrie I know is new. And then there was a Linda Drake somewhere I met earlier. Linda Drake must still be in the kitchen. Oh, there she is. So this is cool. I wanted to point out to the new folks that are here that we have a room of probably 30 people who are consistently coming every week. And that is because 1 Million Cups is really a business education program. All right. And we are a national program. 1 Million Cups happens all over the country on Wednesday mornings, typically from 8 to 9, but some chapters meet at 8:30 or 8 o'clock. And so everyone around the country right now in our time zone is doing the same thing we're doing, which is kind of fun. There's about 100 chapters altogether. All right, so 1 Million Cups is a Kauffman Foundation program. Kauffman Foundation is out of Kansas City, Missouri, and they help businesses get started with funding or all kinds of other resources they might need. And they discovered in 2012 that the startup businesses they were giving money to were not actually kind of making it into the next steps. So a grassroots movement called 1 Million Cups. 1 million cups of coffee, right? To keep meeting all the people you need to meet, stay connected with the people that you have met in order to sustain your business. We developed 1 Million Cups. So there's a framework that our group is working from here in Metro Detroit. Our sponsor here is Oakland Thrive for our community. If you're with Oakland Thrive, can you raise your hands? So Oakland Thrive is like ours, so Drake is too. He's got his hands full right now, but he's with them too. Oakland Thrive is our small business association program where there's consultants that go and meet in our different regions and communities to help businesses keep going. And Daryl, who's the lead volunteer for our organizing group, will talk a little bit more about Thrive at the end. Okay, and so then also we're here at Cabizo. So Josh is the facilitator and part owner of this lovely workspace. So welcome to this place that he lets us use every single week. And Cabizo is also our coffee sponsor today. So typically Josh would be here and get a couple of minutes, 2 or 3 minutes to talk about anything, you know, his business, his workspace, anything like that, because that's the benefit of being a coffee sponsor at 1 Million Cups, right? He is at the mayor's State of the States or State of the City speech right now, which is just down the street. So there's a chance he'll say something at the end. That's a joke. Josh does not talk on the microphone. I don't think. Do you think he'll talk on the microphone?
He will.
He will.
I'll make sure he talks on the microphone.
So Daryl at the end of this meeting today, which ends at 10 o'clock, but you can stay in this space. Daryl will talk Josh into talking. But basically the other benefit that he provides for us, not just coffee and donuts this time, but he allows anyone who comes to the 1 Million Cups meetings to stay and work here for the rest of the day as a workspace. So if you're a startup entrepreneur or somewhere after that, you know, you're always looking for a coffee shop or workspace, this one's available to you on Wednesdays. Okay, just check it with Josh and then he'll give you the Wi-Fi and you'll be able to stay here. All right, so for the newbies, one more little piece of housekeeping, which is that the presenter that we have every week, they get free coaching. They get an hour or 2 of free business coaching to prep them for this presentation they're going to do. The presentation is only about 5 minutes. Sometimes it goes about 7 minutes. And the only thing you're doing in your presentation, well, you're really doing 3 things. Who are you? What problem are you resolving in the world with your business, and where are you stuck? So that's why I say 1 Million Cups is an educational platform, because you're not here to do a sales pitch and you're not here to ask for investment, which all business owners need both of those things. You're really here to just say, the those basic things. And this is happening all over the country, and that's why people keep coming back to the meeting, because once you present it, then you can be knowledgeable in the audience and you can help that new startup that's talking. So with that note, how are we doing on time? I'm just checking my time. Okay, 9:09. Danita, are you ready? So Danita's been coming to our meetings for several months now. She also has a full-time job, so we're glad that she's here with us today. I'm only queuing you up for this because Danita is going to be an amazing presentation today. I was her coach. And she has a meeting at 10:30 that she has to present on with her corporate job that she's not. Is it corporate, right? Yeah. It's corporate. So if you want to talk with Danita after, just hit her up before 10:25, and then in her last slide, we'll have her contact information and she has cards. So that's your cue up to like be efficient and get all the information you can get. And then thank you to her friend for videoing for her today. All right, Danita, the microphone is yours. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. My name is Danita Weddle, and my product is the Luv Gluv. And the Luv Gluv is a genuine leather glove that was inspired by my aunt, who taught me to design and sew when I was 10 years old. For those who know anything about sewing, McCall's and Simplicity had patterns that you use. Well, we would always take the patterns and redo them in the way that we wanted. So if it had a bell sleeve and we wanted the straight sleeve with a cuff, we changed the pattern. And so that was my my early inspiration. But my family guided me towards an educational path. And so I left that behind in pursuit of education all the way up to doctorate of healthcare administration. In 2020, there was a pivotal moment where I was downsized in the healthcare industry. And that the early memories and thoughts about the women who had really held me down and guided my path came back to me. How can I celebrate all of that in this moment of disparity? And so this Luv Gluv was born out of that. So I did my first designs and prototypes. I found a manufacturer overseas who could manufacture the gloves. So we went back and forth about leather, and I wanted soft, supple leather, and so I was able to find someone for me. I actually had an official launch to the product here at Incubizo. I was incorporated in February of 2023. I had an official launch in April of this year here at Incubizo. And so I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Our products feature 4 different styles of gloves. So we have everything from the classic glove, which is in the center. It's fully cashmere lined. We have a half glove. We have a driving glove. And I'll talk later, we also have a fingerless glove. And before I move on, each of these gloves it comes when you order it, it comes with a chain that is symbolic of a connection between you and a special woman in your life. And then you also get to select a personalized center charm that expresses something about her. So I have spiritual charms, I have sorority, I'm licensed with Delta, Sigma Theta, but I'm trying to do the others. Those are very expensive to have. And so I'm trying to do the others. And then of course, my spiritual ladies and family and so forth. Our biggest challenge has really been, I've had, to be honest, 3 sport mentors, all of whom looked at my business plan and they all asked me, how do you know there's a market? And so I'm like, okay, and they told me to go off and do research. Well, I'm a research scientist, and the hypothesis, what is it? I honestly couldn't figure that out. Like, what am I trying to research that would be includable in the business plan? And so that has been a challenge for me. Developing a market strategy. When I did my launch, I used a QR code that had a survey behind it to try and collect demographics. Well, it got stuck on question number one. And unfortunately, I didn't collect the data that I wanted to, but I did make some discoveries just on the attendance of the launch event. And then understanding what is the seasonal calendar. People were telling me about pop-ups and you have the festivals and all of this kind of thing. Well, how do you know when that's coming up so that you can submit a registration to be a vendor at those events? So those have been our biggest challenges. And I'm hearing things word of mouth, so I'm starting a spreadsheet that kind of identifies these things for the next year. And so what we've done some research on competitors. There's nothing really in the market like this because our terms are all interchangeable. You can design this glove to your heart's desire. You can keep adding terms until it gets too much weight for, the leather glove to support it. You can remove the chain and add, your own charm. So it's individual to the specific woman. But I go down rabbit holes with regard to, okay, when you ask me who are my competitors, I haven't been able to really find any other gloves where you can actually remove the adornments and change them out and personalize them. And then other areas where, they're like, okay, you got to do more about your research. Well, what am I researching? So really, as we get to it, we'd really like to know what you all have done. Again, I said I launched here at Incubizo because part of my career was spent in have a pretty large, group of folks who are in my contacts, large family members, a number of family members as well. And so we have about 140 attendees, although they said 125. I accounted for people who did not stay the whole time. So we did allow 140 people to register for the event. We sold 62 pairs of gloves. I had 15 models, all representing a broad spectrum from young girls, and it was as much about who they were as it was about the gloves, because we told the story of, what is the Luv Glove to this person? And so we used this area around here as kind of our runway. And so it was really a fun experience. We also, one of the things Melissa wanted me to share was that because it's personalized, we had these order forms where you select the style of glove, your size, which chain you wanted, and which terms. And then someone would go take the order form in the back, and they would bring out this tray that held the glove that the woman selected, because we didn't want to assemble it and then have you say, oh, that's what it's for. So the glove, the chains and the charms are presented to them, and they would verify it, and then they would take it in the back there and assemble it so that the woman could take the gloves. That was an incredible experience. That was part of the entire experience that we created with the girl. And I mentioned the survey with the QR code where I really didn't collect demographics, but I did get some insights just from the audience. And then, like I said, one of the things we've done is we're hearing about things as, word of mouth. And so we're creating a calendar that will prepare us for 2025. During that launch event, what I did learn was that, a lot of the younger girls and women who were here, they were gravitating towards the fingerless glove because a lot of them would like to wear nail extensions and so forth. And so that has become really popular. And then I have a niece who was one of the models graduated from CAF. So she wore the gloves at her graduation and her prom. So got a lot of buzz from her girlfriends about that. Social media and myself are not really compatible. I don't like doing videos and things like that. So I need to find ways to get more comfortable with that or find alternative methods of marketing. And like I said, people are sending me word about things that, the timing is generally off. Oh, that happened yesterday. What's happening tomorrow? Thank you. This is mine. So here's the community. What I'd like from you is market research for national data. Where do I go to get it? What data is important to creating a sound business plan? Marketing strategies in general. Is there anything other than social media, or social media is the thing to do? You know, how do you not get lost in it? You know, because people are out there chatting and things like that. And you know, that's time consuming. And I am, you know, still working and I'm fulfilling and with working food. I started at the bottom, you know, back at the bottom job, but I would like to know more about that. And then any tips about, you know, preparation of a sales calendar and how do I identify these events in advance before they actually happen.
That's your information.
So here's my information. Danita Weddle, founder creator, the Luv Gluv LLC. You can catch us at theluvegluv.com. I am on Instagram, the THE underscore LUV. I'm on Facebook, and there's my email address and phone number.
All right. All right, so now I'm just gonna. You guys are, I know you're chomping at the bit to give her information, right? Because like, who's writing down notes, Daryl? I know you. All right, Linda, you want to ask a question? So if you can come up here, because we do have a Zoom room. You can't always come to our meetings by Zoom. You just ask your questions via chat if you're in the Zoom. You can just hold the mic and you can face her if you like.
Okay, a couple of things. My name is Lynn Drake. So the initials LD do not work good in any email address. So I would really strongly suggest that you change that Outlook email address based upon my experience, because you won't be getting your emails. That's number one. Number two, I have created a template, which I would love to give to you. And it's for the entire year for your social media. And it has a checklist, and I can give you directions on how to create it. It's super easy. You can have AI create all your blogs, and then you just use this form and you fill it in, and then you put it on a program. Super, super easy.
Cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. All right, come on up, Terry. You know how this works. Terry presented last week.
Danita, two things. In terms of your calendar or your schedule, because you are already licensed with Delta Sigma Theta, my suggestion, because you're not going through the same thing or have gone through it, is when you do one of their events, when there's a downtime, go talk to the other vendors, find out who does this regularly, get their number, and they will start sharing other events. And that's what you want to do, because that's what I had to do. And it's very, very helpful, because even though you're licensed, the sorority doesn't necessarily send you out all of the events. So that's number one. Number two, I had your card from last week, and I noticed you did not have your phone number on there. So please add that, because I think Lisa called working for you. And we had to do some, some manipulating here. To try to figure out how to connect with you directly. So that's just another suggestion.
Thank you.
They're good ones. Right, anyone else have some suggestions, comments? Come on, Carmen.
Hello.
Hi.
This isn't a solve, but I just want to say this as well. I know that you said that you're not a video or social media guru, which is fine. There are people that are. But I just want to tell you this as well. When I first moved home, there was a store in Greenville called The Host. There was a wig shop there. And I showed up with my idea in my mind for social media management, blah, blah, blah. I showed up with this whole presentation to them to take photos and revamp their social media. They were interested, never heard from them again. They also never changed their social media strategy. Their social media strategy still sucks, in my opinion. They are in Walmarts across the country, and they have blown up in a huge way. So I say that to say, social media isn't the only way. I don't know what else is, but don't be discouraged because it isn't the only way. And lean on this room for the people that do it. But I'm telling you, those people figured it out without changing their social media, and they're doing just fine. So you'll figure it out. That's all.
That's good. Thanks, Carmen. All right, come on up, Nicole, right?
Yeah.
All right, Nicole. I'm gonna have some good business strategy advice for you.
Thank you.
Go back to the history. Just gonna have to line of our spot.
For Zoom.
Yeah.
Turn, that's perfect, right there. You're good, yes.
Okay. Couple things went through my mind when we were talking.
Pull your mic up there.
Couple things went through my mind when we were talking. So one, in terms of social media, that's just one channel of marketing.
Right.
Okay, so don't get caught up on the end all be all. Is it important? Absolutely. But it's just one channel. So if marketing's not your thing, then even Open Thrive has business advisors and consultants that can help you with that, because you need to start from the strategy and then the channels evolve from the strategy. So don't get hung up on that. Let's start with the strategy overall. Piggybacking on that, as I looked at your product, right? It's really about the positioning. That's the first thing that came to mind. Because some people want the glove for one. Some people want the glove as a keepsake, memorabilia, and some people, people want the glove for various reasons. So all of those are different buyer personas, which means you will reach them all different. There's one size fits all is for dashikis and mumu. I say that all the time. It is not your business development strategy. Okay, so the first thing is, the people that want it for one, the people that, oh, this is cute. But then there are people who want it as a keepsake. And there are people that want it for something else. So clearly define that, because that will guide your path as to how to reach them. And that's why once you do that, then the marketing people can help you, because you figured the first part out. If there's any fuzziness there, it will be more difficult for them to help support getting your product to market.
That's an excellent point. Thank you.
You're welcome. I can keep going, but
Hello, everyone. I'm Keisha Kirksey.
Move up, Keisha, go up. Go.
I'm sorry.
Go that way, go.
All right.
Keep going. Perfect, there you go.
All right, us ladies, we know that girls' night out has become very true. I will find a way to bring my Luv Gluv to a girls' night out. They can assemble their own pieces. You have painting with a twist. Girls will come together for that. Let's do Luv Gluv with a twist. Okay? Now let's find a way to bring ladies together and make this something fun and drive home the purpose of why we even made the club. Bring ladies together. A girls' night out, you can market it and say, hey, let's all wear the same pajamas and match our gloves that we're gonna make. Whatever, get creative. But have a girls' night out and focus on bringing the Luv Gluv to good memories, laughter, love, fun. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, that was nice. Right, Valerie? Oh my goodness,
Congratulations on coming up with a product and being here in front of this group. I know that's not easy to present and to ask for help, so you are halfway there, right? I want to talk about the market research aspect, and I know that a lot of times people talk about when they get demographics, how big is the market? How many people buy gloves? That's not really the data that you need. The data that you need is, are people interested in your gloves and why? And so I think sometimes our inclination is to share what we're doing with our family and friends, and they're like, yeah, I'm so excited for you, at least if they're good family and friends. But I think talking to strangers and people you don't know as well about your product and getting their honest feedback and making it okay for them to say, yes, this is a great idea, or I'm not sure. Take those gloves with you everywhere you go. If you are standing in the line at the grocery store, wherever you are, see if you can strike up conversations with people about what you're doing. Show them the product or talk about the idea and ask, would you buy this? Would you buy this over a different pair of gloves? Would you buy them for yourself? Would you buy them as a gift? Which terms are you interested in? Do the terms make you more willing to pay a premium? So understanding, like, doing the market research is just talking to people who might be your customers, and that's just having those conversations and asking the questions. I think Nicole mentioned positioning, and that's so important. And so by asking those questions and getting the answers about why people will buy your gloves, will they buy them at what price point, and what makes them something that people would buy, that's how you figure out the positioning. Strategy will come from that, but that's the research thing.
Thank you.
Very well said, Valerie. That was really well. All right, so her topics are market research and market strategies, and then annual sales calendar. Like, all of those have been addressed right now, but is there anyone else who has something to fulfill? Like, do you have an experience with doing market research that paid off or did not pay off? Because that's one of the things that is tough for her, right? Or, you heard some basics on market strategy. Is there anyone here that wants to share like 1 or 2 steps you could take this week or this month to move ahead in that plan? Come on up. I know we have some people in here whose minds are racing on this. I mean, you don't make me call it up. All right, Daryl, of course, yes.
I think Keisha touched on this a little bit, but I thought about gifts for bridal showers. I thought this would be a great bridal shower, or as a thank you for being my wedding. You want to do something that's more personalized. I thought this would be a great one. So wedding shows would be a good venue for something like this, because everybody's looking for that different personal thing. So that's another one that you might want to take a look at.
Right, do we have any Oakland Drive reps? Oh yeah, come on up. Not an Oakland Drive rep. Come on up.
I'm new here.
Yeah.
But
you
I just thought-
And how do you say this, because we're recording on Zoom for
Yeah, and Michelle, or maybe not go with you, but I just had a couple ideas. One is like the movie industry, like costumes. If there's some way you can get into, to talk to some of these people that are showing, people in a certain kind of dress and they want a glove. I mean, it's just a thought. And then some of your high end, like Fama or some of your high end shops. So that's my thinking.
Have you thought of those before? Have you done those before?
well, I
High-end shops?
so I do have a couple
I do have a couple of boutiques that
I was referring to. One is in Fenton and one in Brighton. And I haven't really included that on what I've done so far. Because I just kind of got the idea from a friend of mine that maybe what I want to do is put things on consignment in some of the boutiques. So yeah, I did get some.
Does anyone in the room have a product that's on consignment that can give share an experience with Danita? Yes, do you have a product that's on consignment?
Well, the product, I'm an author of several books, and I have had my books in stores on consignment. And so that a lot of times, that's an easy thing to do, is by going in and talking to the people who are in charge of the store, the management, and going in there and asking them about putting your book, your product on consignment, and then talking about the percentage. Because sometimes some people want to get crazy percentages a little bit higher than they should, and you have to be able to negotiate that. So that'd be another good thing that you could do.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, come on. How's it going? You doing all right? Okay, good. I know it's like
A lot of
it is.
but it's good.
Yeah, I'm done. Okay, I
and maybe market research one for a day. I loved when you spoke about the, like, the bespokeness of that event and how you brought the glove out and allowed people to kind of assemble it. So as, again, like Valerie was speaking to, that person, like random person, that's really appealing to me versus like going to Target or Macy's and buying a glove that anybody can have. So I don't know if that's helpful, like the really bespoke quality that you spoke to and the way that people could get involved really spoke to me as a potential customer.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Right, are you talking about the event experience? Yes, that you had? Yeah, I thought that was very clever. I mean, I was coaching her, but when she said, I don't know how to do market research. And then like, talking to the score mentors, and she said, I don't know how to do this, so I'm just gonna host an event. And she didn't just host an event. She had a QR code, she had a white glove treatment, she ended up having 500 people invited, for which, she had a large percentage come. She had 62 gloves sold out of 120 people. That's a 50% conversion. Like, that's a big deal for an event. And if you just do some more of those, you might be able to get some of that drive happening, right? Anyone else? Do you have some other comments? Yeah.
So with Christmas coming up, this is a great opportunity. Start now thinking about events that are coming up that you could attend. So when you talk about that sales calendar, you want to make sure you start thinking about those types of things months before that particular season, because if you'll notice, they started putting out Halloween candy right after the 4th of July. So you have to plan early and be visible on social media, LinkedIn, other platforms for sure, but start thinking about those things early, because there are going to be a lot of people that are looking for personalized gifts. The young lady that just spoke talked about the bespoke factor of it. This is not something you want to find at Target. This is something that's more high end, that's personalized. So that's really your target market.
How's your inventory? Like, are you able to prepare for maybe 3 shows at Christmas time?
Yeah, so
Great question.
Terry talked about this last week. There's minimum order quantities when you're working with any manufacturer. And so I have a large quantity of gloves available now, that in preparation for the fall. It's like if I find events, I have quantity now. I am interested in more colors, because that's another kind of thing I was trying to get from the market, is like, what colors. Right now I'm carrying 5 different colors. I want to be sure that I'm carrying the colors that people are interested in. And for the fall, people have been asking for a brown tan, and that's not a color that I currently carry. The turnaround time is anywhere from 5 to 6 weeks. They've been really good about getting my order to me. It usually gets stuck in customs.
So with the calendars and the holiday events, a lot of farmers markets also do holiday events. There will be all kinds of organizations that do pop-up shops. And so this is a great time to just start looking at those calendars. I know that you were talking also about the sororities, because I think that's a really great place to market your products. And so reaching out to people at sororities, if you know people, to find out if their organization is hosting some sort of holiday shop. But this is a great time to start doing that planning, and then, put those calendars on your calendar so you can keep going back to look and see if they've announced any information. Around pricing, I heard somebody mention consignment, and I think that there are a number of different strategies that you could use to sell the gloves. I don't know if you locked into strategy yet, but if you were going to do consignment or even some level of multi-level marketing, those are all options, but you just have to figure that out when you were setting your pricing. Because if you were to wholesale, say go to Macy's or someplace like that, then you have to make room for them to make a profit margin, and there has to be enough room for you to make profit on top of that. And so I heard that you said you're having a manufacturer in China. Great, you're probably getting great pricing, but also consider how you're going to sell it, because that'll help you set your price point. And then when you go back and do your market research, you're asking people, would you pay this? How much would you pay? Would you pay $50? Would you pay $75 for a charm? And so really understanding that goes into the basics of what they call 4P marketing, which is figuring out that product, figuring out the positioning, figuring out how you're gonna sell it, figuring out the pricing, so.
You're welcome. And I think one of the challenges that I have, and it speaks to the whole personalization of this product, is that if I were to put products on consignment, they would have to already be made up. Nobody at that store is going to create the experience. So it means you buy whatever I put together and that's there. So, so that's another challenge to it. For me, the experience that women have in being pampered and treated special and that kind of thing is part of the whole, I'm honoring the hands of women who guide us, And so that's a huge part and it can't be left behind as far as my marketing strategy goes.
Awesome.
Just one thing, just been throwing a lot at you about what needs to happen, which all takes resources and you still work a 40-hour job. So you have to decide, you're gonna need some help and to plan for that financially, right? So whether it's outsourcing with social media or or training people to work with you. I just don't want you to forget that part because oftentimes that's what happens. And then you think you have to do everything and you don't. You just have to prepare to delegate because we've thrown a lot at you. But the holiday season, I grew up in retail as well. So the holiday season is great. You can't be everywhere and everything doesn't happen after you get off work. So you got to figure out if you're going to play in those spaces. Just plan appropriately for the resources to support you. You don't have to do everything, you just have to plan to pay for it. So that's the biggest challenge, one of the biggest challenges to run into is just folks don't plan for the expense of health.
Thank you. Okay. Let's go.
Perfect, yep.
So I was thinking about the strategy that someone talked about like home parties, girlfriend parties, whatever you choose to call them. But the one thing you may want to consider is offering a discount every time someone refers someone to you, because you figure if I refer, you give me 10% off every person I refer, that's 10 parties, So just thinking about that kind of strategy, because I know for a fact, I think of all the parties that I've given, whether it was an art party or Tupperware, jewelry. I think of all the things that I've done in my home. There was always a discount associated with it. And then that person may be set for the rest of the year just on referrals. So you want to think of the referral system. That's beneficial to the person, customer, as well as yourself. Thank you for that.
I'll take that. I've got 2 questions online. One comment is the Great Lakes Women's Business Council would be a great organization for you to join, which I think is a great idea. And also, what about gift cards?
But another good Christmas idea,
Is that the 2 questions?
Yes.
Okay.
because I had a number of men say, what about the men? Well, I did think about you. I thought about you being the hero in your household. And you brought a pair of these gloves with a special charm to the women that you have, or we make gift cards available so that she can select her own style. Thank you for that, Joe.
Feel like you got some good stuff.
Yes.
If you want any last minute, because we're gonna wrap it up and talk about, oh, look, who's here, Josh, hooray. All right, yes, okay, good, we have a, Brian.
Attention, it's just a question to everyone else. Has anyone, looked at podcasts for marketing? And can anyone speak on that?
Give her a suggestion for a podcast,
No, not a suggestion. Well, yeah, maybe a suggestion for.
for her to speak on a podcast.
Has anyone here had any experience with marketing under podcasts?
Related to Danita
Yes.
though. Okay. No, and you have not spoken on podcasts before, most likely, or have you?
Well, I haven't, but Great Lakes, they have a pop-up coming up on August 3rd, and I did register for that. And as part of the registration for that, they will do 2 e-blasts with my company information, as well as, set up an interview with, someone in media. So that's as close to a podcast, but, just having the opportunity to interview with someone in media.
We do have a partner that does podcasting, John Gay. Is it Gay or Gray?
Yeah, John Gay.
Yeah, John Gay.
Presented
In
here.
fact, he presented here a few weeks ago. He is very good. He has a background in media, and he would be a great one to connect with, which we can do that for you.
All right, so does anyone have anything else to share about Danita potentially being on a podcast or soliciting people to help market her gloves? Like, I mean, I think that you could, it's a sponsorship opportunity where you can reach out to podcasts in your, maybe in your medical field that you people, because you're a PhD with the administrative health. I'm butchering that, sorry. But like you could go like an alternative route, like you could listen to whoever's in your HR team that's talking about podcasts, or having a team listen to certain podcasts, or maybe there's an internal one. You can ask them to advertise your gloves with the kind of the health, not the health aspect, but the mental health aspects to supporting women in your life, and then pay a small fee in order to have them mention your company on your website. Like that's a way to use it for marketing.
Yeah, thank you for that, Melissa.
You're welcome. All right. So Daryl, any more questions online?
No, that's all.
No? So you're gonna come on up and we're gonna talk just a little bit more about, thank you very much, Danita. Thank you all for your. Like 1 million cups, right? We're the audience that's providing either experience or information or connection. Thanks, Glenn, for coming up right away, being the new person here, as well as the other woman in the back who came up as a new person. I mean, it's intimidating to talk on a mic, but we really appreciate the advice, and you support the rest of the room when you offer some advice to someone who's presented. So before I pass this to you, if you want to present, 1millioncups.com/present, that will allow you to do a very short application to get into the organizers, like back of the house, so we can see your information. You can pick a date, but we have to confirm your dates, and then you get in the pipeline to be somebody up here that does a presentation, which includes, again, free coaching, and then this room full of people to help you, and then you get recording afterwards, because we recorded on Zoom, and then of course there's always free coffee and donuts. All right, I'm gonna pass it to Daryl, and you can wrap us up.
Well, thanks everyone for coming out this morning. It's great to see so many people that show up week after week. You see value in this, and we are glad to have you here. Thank you so much, Danita. You did an excellent job today. You forget my voice. I was playing golf on Friday and just out in the elements. Open Thrive is the sponsor of 1 Million Cups Metro Detroit here. And the reason we chose to sponsor is because we see the value in bringing entrepreneurs together to help one another. That is one thing that's missing in regular networking events. They're there to sell product. They're not there really to help one another. So thanks for coming out. Thank you for sharing your expertise, because we want Oakland County to be the best place to start and run a business. And we're glad for all who come out. Our partners are in the room. Thank you, Nicole. It's always good to see you. And where's Melanie? We want to give Melanie a shout out to. She's one of our partners. We have a professional services partner organization. And Lisa, where's Lisa? She's here. There she is.
Well, that flyers.
That's a financial partner. So one of the things that Nicole talked about is you need to build a team. So you need money for that. Talk to Lisa before we leave here, because she does fearless financing every Friday morning, and you want to come talk to her about financing for your business.
Every Friday morning.
Every Friday morning here at 8:30 before I get up. And Mel, I want to come up and say a couple of words. We do want to feature our professional services partners. Since Melanie has not had an opportunity to do this, she's really very shy. I want to bring her up and talk to them about what she does and how she can help folks.
Very shy, but I'm very good at what I do. I'm a web and graphic designer. I've been doing it for over 20 years. Since I was a teenager until now. I've worked for a medical school for 7 years, managed their web and graphic design. I'm a partner with Open Thrive. I've been here since April, and since I'm an entrepreneur, I love helping other entrepreneurs and small businesses to thrive. So during my sessions, I have what I call a business identity blueprint. So I'm in a weird space marketing wise. I'm not a marketer, I'm not a brander, I'm a graphic and web designer. and that's what I specialize in. However, I have to kind of dabble in those other areas in order to get businesses a clear identity so that we can have a starting point to build all of the graphics from. So that's what I do at Open Thrive, and I love to help other people succeed. I actually had a consultation with one of our members last week, and she was so inspiring. I often get a really great buzz, if you will, with talking to other entrepreneurs about their passion. Her passion is events, which sounds kind of monotone. However, when she described it after the meeting, I was excited. She's passionate, I'm passionate. So I love to share that with others. And I'd be happy to meet with you soon. You can check out my website, or you can, melaniesummers.com.